Hello, you made it. I'm so glad you're here. Before we get started, this is a quick clip of what you might have missed last week.
Carol, way back in the day.
Right, take it.
Ew.
Yeah, that happened. And now, on this episode of Real Garbage. Ooh, they said the name of the movie.
Can I buy your affection, sweetie?
Diane, I'm standing in front of the fence in front of the building.
If I can't have America, no one can.
Hold on, there's a little girl waving a flag. I think she's trying to signal the jets to stop. Woo, that's going to be a good one. We got all that in store and more on this episode of Real Garbage. But first, here's a quick word from our fake sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by getting asked stupid questions like,
Why are your lips shaped like that?
This episode is also brought to you by doom scrolling. Favorite hobby of everybody these days.
Real Garbage.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
No, doom scrolling.
Doom
You've heard the term, right?
no. Like scrolling and looking at stuff that's like, you're doomed.
Well, yeah, essentially, because the term came out a couple of years ago, or in the last year at least.
Yeah.
They've talked about it on late night shows and stuff. It's
Okay.
basically when you're sitting at home scrolling through your phone, looking at things that you just make you go like, "Good God!" Like what is going? Like I'm guilty of it with this because we're recording this Tuesday the 19th.
Yes.
Tomorrow is on Inauguration Day.
Yay.
So by the time this episode rolls out, America could have bombed itself
That's true.
or blown up, or there could
Or
have been.
done something fucking foolish.
Hopefully, everything stayed good.
Hopefully
and
they learned.
Sane.
Yeah, hopefully they learned from the Capitol that you can't just do that.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Where was I
Doom
going?
scrolling.
Oh yeah, doom scrolling. So now Imagers is flooded with because Imagers. I was saying, it's the only app I like to use. 'Cause that in Instagram, and it's just nothing but political posts. And it has been, which isn't. It's still. I hate. There's like a German term for it when you're reveling in someone else's. Crappy stuff happening to them. I can't remember. I can't think of what.
Sadism?
No. It's like Schadenfreude or something like that. Which it's like you take pleasure in someone else's pain, essentially. So it's like rooting for when you're looking at say Trump going like, God, all this stuff is this horror, like everything's crashing around him, ha 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 ha, and then that's like you're doom scrolling. You're looking at that stuff, going like, oh man, sometimes I feel kind of crappy doing it, but I can't stop.
Yeah.
I'll sit in front of my TV at night for like at least the last half hour before bed and just look at my phone scrolling with something playing on the TV that I'm not paying attention to. And I'm not the only one that does it. Like that just seems to be what everybody does.
Yeah.
We were talking about it last episode. Too many screens.
I know.
Too many screens. Today I am, how long has it been? Like 112 days clean and sober from Facebook.
Wow. Nice.
Feels good. My brain feels clear.
That's good.
Probably the no alcohol too,
Yeah.
but more so the Facebook.
I rarely go on Facebook now. Like, I'll check Messenger. I still have Messenger. And I still have Facebook installed, but it is the least active social media app I have. I'm either on, like, Snapchatting, just, like, talking with people in group chats. Instagram, just, like, looking at feeds and seeing what's new with my friends that I haven't seen in forever. And then TikTok. Just watching TikTok.
I remembered, I was telling you, I learned something useful from TikTok, and I was going to tell you what it was, and I completely forgot what it was.
Oh, crap. You told me the tortilla one.
That was probably the one. No, there was something else too. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You're saying you scroll Instagram. I've been getting flooded with pictures of epoxy poured like cutting boards and tables and artwork and stuff.
I love that stuff.
I've ordered some epoxy. It's in the mail right now. I
Cool.
got molds for coasters. So I'm gonna try coasters first, and then I got a bunch of cookie cutters from Value Village. So you can use cookie cutter on like parchment paper, and you put silly putty around it, and that's your mold. So this stuff I can pour a 1/4 inch at a time. So I didn't realize, I just learned this yesterday, should have done more research, that there's a whole bunch of different kinds of epoxy resin. And some like can go up to 2 inches. And like this one I got just for like tabletops basically. But you can paint with this stuff. So I watched a video, some girl making this like sand blue like beach, like a painting of a beach out of epoxy and pigment. I also ordered pigment too. I got a bunch of color coming. So I'm just gonna make a bunch of coasters and stuff.
Cool.
And just start like pouring epoxy into shit in my apartment and see what happens.
Nice.
I also get to repaint my apartment soon.
Cool.
No more yellow walls. I was talking to my landlord. She's like, "Oh, you can repaint. The owner will supply the paint." I'm like, "Oh, shoot, okay." I thought I was going to get to pick a color, but they're like, "It's off-white." I'm like, "Off-white is anything is better than yellow."
Yeah.
I'm so sick of looking at these walls.
Yeah, they're very, especially in contrast with the ceiling. It's very beigey,
Well,
banana powdery.
my kitchen is painted white. The bathroom walls are white.
Yeah.
The storage room is white, but everything else is yellow. I don't like.
Weird.
Who looked at a wall once and went, I think some yellow would look good there.
Mm-hmm. Like if you're gonna commit to yellow, don't do piss yellow. do like this yellow.
Slightly dehydrated piss yellow.
This is maybe you've had 3 glasses of water and you're feeling good. Ish.
Ugh, gross. Now I really want to get rid of it. But I am going to do a gray accent wall right there. So they're like, if you paint something, you just have to paint it back whenever you leave. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This might sound silly, but I didn't really realize you could do that in an apartment.
No,
Like,
I didn't know that. I thought you couldn't touch anything.
I'm sticking tacks on the walls. And because like, how else do you hang stuff up? You got to
Yeah.
nail something somewhere. So just put tacks on the wall. Fill the tack holes later.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Little.
What's new? What's going on?
I had, like, this was prompted by my brought to you by, but it wasn't today. It was a couple days ago. I forget where I was, but it was somewhere where I wasn't wearing a mask. So, like, I think the food court at the mall or a restaurant.
No masks in the. I guess there's no masks in the. Oh, like, is there still seating at the food court? Like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, why? Why are malls like seriously? I know you work in a mall.
Yeah.
But why are malls open? It's like
Because we're an essential service.
No.
people need to buy
We
stuff.
literally, so many of the people who work in the mall, not just in my store, but the whole mall of people, other employees I've talked to in other stores, we are all of the same questioning, why is there no regulation here whatsoever? The only regulation is they put arrows for people to go up and down, but people don't follow them. And the individual stores have their own capacities, but the mall itself, if it does have a capacity, it's not followed. It's just chaos, and it makes no sense, especially with my other job working in the service industry at a restaurant, going from like how strict the government is on restaurants versus the mall. I'm like, pick a lane, babe.
Well, it just seems like why favor retail stores? It's
I
like
know.
people don't need to buy stuff.
Yeah.
They don't need clothing. Like the fact that Value Village is open and you walk in there on like a Saturday, there's 150 people in there. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Who needs to thrift during a pandemic?
I know.
Nobody.
I know.
But I won't. I'm not gonna lie. I've been there like 5 times in the last couple of months.
But
I can't help it.
I know. Just something to do.
See, that's it right there.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I actually got stuff. Like that's where I got the cookie cutters, and I had to go get silly putty from Toys R Us. So I just walked in that one spot and kind of glanced over at the food court and was like, yeah, why are there so many people in here?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I was, in the somewhere where with my mask off. And no, it was a restaurant because I remember I was wearing lipstick, and I never wear lipstick when I'm working because I'm wearing my mask all day. Whereas restaurant, it's just on until you're at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked me like why my lips were pointy, like my top lips, and I was like, couldn't tell ya, could not tell you. Like, that's the gene that won out, I guess.
Hang on.
Why are you so interested?
Was this a male, female, older, younger?
Old lady.
Old lady.
And she was like questioning me. She was like, well, have you had any work done? No. I'm poor. Do I look like I could afford work?
Asked her
Babe?
if she was supposed to be wearing glasses or not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your bifocals, Greg.
But yeah, she's like, there's no way that that's your lip shape. You did your lipstick like that, so they were pointy. And I'm like, Can you just let me eat my steak? Fuck off.
So wait, hold on. So you're eating at a restaurant?
Yeah.
Who's talking to you?
This lady who walked past the table.
I thought you meant you were working, and I'm like,
No,
okay,
no,
so
no.
customer says that to her server.
No.
Okay.
I was eating, and some lady like walked past our table to go to the washroom or something, and then on her way back, because when she was coming up, my back was to her, and then on her way back, she was just interrogating
So
me.
she just been watching you for? Couldn't you see her from where you're sitting, or she's been looking at you sideways for her whole meal? Like, what is with this bunny lip bitch right here? What am I looking at? I need to go to the bathroom and figure it out.
You just go to the bathroom and throw up.
Who even does that?
I know.
Walks up to somebody at a restaurant. It's like, excuse me, especially now, especially in a pandemic. Regular times, I wouldn't, unless I knew the person, be like, hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
No,
He walks up to a stranger.
It was so weird. And I think the pandemic is why. Like, this lady probably, like, this was her stage. This was her social event of the evening or the month or the week. And then she sees some pointy-lipped bitch that she just decides she doesn't like that quality, and therefore makes it her mission to find out why I am the way that I am. Like Michael Scott interrogating Toby. I'm trying to eat my rare steak, and she's like, why are you the way that you are?
She's at her table just like sipping drink.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm going to go talk to her.
I don't like it. Yeah.
That kind of blows me away.
I know, like like older people generally complain about the younger generations, like even yours, mine, younger than us. It's always the people younger than them that are the most rude, the most entitled, blah, blah, blah. Never in my career in the service industry have I ever encountered a person my age or younger, or sometimes in your generation I'll encounter a dick, but that's less than boomers. But it's never the younger people that are interrogating you about the way you look and making like rude comments and just being entitled and being Karens. It's always the boomers.
Well, you also have to remember too, though, that most of them have been inside for 10 months, haven't gone out. Even my mom, 9 months. And I remember going out for a burger before I flew home back in September. And she's like, This is what outlook feels like right now. Like I haven't been outside, out in public, and I'm like, it's been at this point. It was like 8 months. I'm like, it's been 8 months.
Damn,
you haven't gone out anywhere in 8 months. She's like, no. I'm like, what the hell?
It's so true.
So you have to remember, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of them, they might just be like, man, I haven't interacted with a young person in a while. It's just
That's
been
true.
Gerald over there.
That's true. I still have like interacted with people who they're not. Like most of the time it's been reminding people like, oh, your mask has to be on at all times, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll be like, oh shit, yeah, sorry. This is the first time I've been out since this started. And I'm like, it's almost a year later.
Yeah, there's some,
welcome back.
There's some people who took it really seriously.
Which is fair. But it just like, I could not imagine being like, I love my alone time, and March to July, I was living my best life in bed, playing Animal Crossing, watching Netflix, just being by myself for a few months. But for almost a year, I would be freaking out. So the people who they're just coming out of the woodwork now, holy shit.
Yeah, that's wild.
How have you not painted a face on a beach volleyball and been like, Wilson?
They've been at home doom scrolling, looking at shit going down in Washington, like the White House going down.
Yeah. Apropos, don't you think?
I figured, because hopefully everything goes well tomorrow, because there's an impending firefight / civil war down there tomorrow. We figured I might as well do something that's White House related.
Yeah.
And I was expecting White House Down to be super campy and super cheesy and probably really stupid.
Yep.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I didn't hate it. I got exactly what I signed up for.
It was a bit long.
Yeah.
2 hours and 11 minutes was too long. It
Yep.
could have been an hour. There was a point where I was like, yep, they could be wrapping it up right about now. And there's
They-
still 52 minutes left.
Yeah, they just kept adding extra bits, extra seasoning,
Just
but it was already
unnecessary.
seasoned enough.
It's unnecessary. Like you could have went with the old 90-minute format.
Yeah.
I wrote down what this movie's about.
Okay, good.
So it's terrorists attack Washington, D.C., invade and destroy the Capitol building. Hold on a second. That's what newspaper from last week.
But
White House Down is a movie about a hostile takeover of the White House by ex-Gravy SEALs along
Gravy
with the...
SEAls?
That's the new name for them now. Those ones were actually Delta Force. But you ever see those chubby, armed guys down in the States? They're the Gravy SEAls. They're not in shape. The White House is taken over in a very hostile manner by the inside man. It's the Martin, the head of the FBI.
Martin Walter.
You just know James Woods can't be a good guy. You see, you're like, oh, he's the villain. He has to be the villain.
Neither can Sergey or whatever the other bad guy was.
Sergey.
Or not, Kleenex? What?
The guy that played John Connor in Terminator?
Yeah!
Oh, yeah. He's
Always a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant he can't be a bad guy. I was like, wait a minute.
no, he can't be
he's-
a good
he's-
guy.
Yeah, if he is a good guy, you're always like, what are you up to?
You're
up to
always like,
something.
there's a twist coming. You're not good.
So the White House gets taken over, and Channing Tatum is a wannabe Secret Service agent who is on a tour with his daughter.
He's going to apply for a job while he's on a tour.
Well, he did apply.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. But he proves himself by saving the president and saving the day.
Talk about perfect timing.
Yeah.
How many times have I gone into a job interview and they're like, imagine if I went into job interviews and it was like, you're not qualified. And then a perfect situation came up to prove myself. And
It's
then I
like-
was like, told you.
It's like going to you're like, I want to get a job as a bartender. You walk in like, hey, you guys looking for a bartender? Actually, no, we're full up right now. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, a rush comes in. And he's like, oh, no, my bartender's late. Buddy, can you get behind the bar? And you're like, already there. And he turns around. He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Spinning bottles. Pouring shots.
Coyote Ugly style.
Just give us beer. We don't want shots. Shots up. Dumping booze on people.
We're simple people. We just want beer.
Who is this guy? All right.
I swing the fastest bottles in the West.
So we can. I didn't make a lot of notes. I didn't get a ton of notes on it at all.
I didn't either.
The first 30 minutes is just
Unnoteworthy.
yeah. We learn that. So Jamie Foxx is the first TV black president, unless you count in the future Camacho from Idiocracy, which was shot in the past.
Yes.
I don't think it counts because it's
No.
ahead. So, and I don't know if there's been other black presidents on TV or not, but I just wrote down Jamie Foxx, the first
Yeah.
movie black president.
You know what's interesting too is he based his performance on Barack Obama.
I kind of figured.
And Barack Obama has gone on record and said he likes this movie.
It was good. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, we learned that Jamie Foxx is the president. What's his name? What is Channing Tatum's character's name?
John Cale.
John Cale. Pretty basic name.
Yeah.
John Cale.
Basic boy.
He has a daughter.
Emily
they have
Cale.
a crappy relationship.
Classic.
He's trying. He missed.
Yeah.
He
He
missed
missed-
the recital. The flag waving recital.
He's like, that's the talent. She practiced for 6 hours.
Was this? I thought. Did you say 6 hours? I thought
No, she said like
6
6
months or
weeks.
something.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
She practiced that flag waving.
We saw her. Okay, we're just gonna jump right ahead to the end. Where
Yeah,
Emily is swinging a flag, and these jets coming in.
like-
They're gonna nuke it. Or like, hold on, there's a little girl waving a flag. I think she's trying to signal the jets to stop. Like, I'm not gonna attack.
And then when she's done, she's like, did you see my routine?
I'm thinking that was your talent in a talent show,
Right?
When the mom says she was waving a flag, I thought it was like one of those things in like the gymnastics class where you're.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like baton twirling, kind of like you're like
Who did that in old school? Was it Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell. Yeah, he's running around in his underwear.
That's what I thought she was doing.
Yeah.
But no, she's got a full size like Trump 2020 flag, swinging it back and forth.
And then
Did you see my skill? Like what?
You know what was running through my mind when I saw her doing that was that remember in 2008 when there was that big earthquake in Haiti and all of these Canadian celebrities collabed on waving flag and it's like when I get older I will be strong. That's what was going through my mind when I saw her doing that. I was like, just like a waving flag, and then it goes back.
So many songs were working there. I just imagine like, I've got the eye of the tiger.
Yeah, the Jets.
Abort! All right, yeah, so she's a flag waver. He missed the recital. He goes to the Secret Service interview. Oh, yeah, he says, okay, honey, sorry about missing your recital. I really am. Here's some White House tour passes.
Yeah.
We're going. And she's like, oh, I love you.
Can I buy your affection, sweetie?
You sure can, John.
Oh,
Oh,
that
we're going with John? She's like, yeah.
that always irks me for some reason. Like, there's just something about children calling their parents by their first names.
My cousin started doing that with my aunt at the age of 15 or so. It was weird. It still does.
It's weird. And I get, in that scenario, like Emily and John's relationship is fractured, but it's just, your parents got divorced and your mom got custody and he didn't, and he's trying to like work and build something. Like, it's not like their relationship is toxic or abusive at all. So her being like hostile and being like, okay, John, I'm like, are we missing something?
And she was only 11 too, so it wasn't like she was the rebelling 13 or 14. She did seem older than 11 though.
Yeah. She did.
Like when she said you're 11, when he's like you're 11, I'm like, what? Oh, she's
I'm like,
gotta
no,
be like
she's
14, 15,
yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Like the actress had to be older, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
They go to the White House and he does this interview. She's running through is like, oh, you got C's in school and you didn't do this. So he didn't finish high school. He didn't get a degree like he's supposed to. He didn't do anything he needed to. Then he's like, wait, hold on, check the paper. I went to night school for 2 years.
Yeah, he's like, I made sure I'm qualified.
It's like, she's like, you got a C average, barely. I'm thinking, buddy, you want to be in the Secret Service. What are you doing? You're half-assing that going in. You're like, man, this is going to look like crap. And he's like, just give me a chance.
But also, this is probably going to sound really ignorant of me, so sorry about it. But why do you need a university degree to be on the Secret Service to protect the president? Like that, I don't understand that.
Well, it depends on what the degree is in.
True, but even if you had a degree in like criminal justice, like your job is to protect the president and use your body as a human shield if necessary.
But you also have to be able to recognize body movement patterns, body language. You need to analyze speech. Like you need to know all that stuff. So you can,
I know.
As a guard, someone walks up, you're like, this person's a threat. Like you need to know that. If you're just some C average Jack in the Box, I don't know why I said Jack in the Box, but you don't understand that stuff.
That's
so I can
true.
understand you need a degree in some sort of human psychology so you can be the top level bodyguard to the most powerful person in the world.
I can see that. But
that
also,
would be my argument.
Fair. But also, there are some people who are just naturally very in tune with reading body languages and subtle communication and like vibe and energy differences.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
don't think Channing Tatum was, though.
No, God, no.
So he probably should have had that degree.
Yeah, but it just, like, to have a university degree for that, there should be some sort, and maybe there is, like, we don't know what's fabricated and what's real, but there should be some sort of like aptitude test where if you don't have a college degree in this, they can just test you on these things through like different simulations and stuff. And then if you naturally have that gift, they can be like, okay, like.
I'm sure they probably have something like that.
Yeah.
We didn't want to put it in this 2 hour and 11 minute long movie.
It's a little long.
We don't have time for this. Get it out. But people are going to have questions. So she's basically like Maggie Gyllenhaal's like, no,
She's
ain't
like,
happen.
get out of here, loser.
Yeah, bye, John. And then sees it. Then he has a daughter, and she's like, oh, maybe I should give him a chance.
Yeah, like having
that's what her face said.
having a child has ever swayed a potential employer's decision. Like,
so now, all right, we're getting to the start of the story here. 29 minutes in. They're about to leave, and this tour guide's like, I love this tour guide, by the way.
I know.
He's like, oh, you guys part of the tour? And he's like, oh, hey, honey, you want to take a tour? And she's like, sure. So they jump in the tour. I'm like, oh, this is why they end up in here. This is why they get stuck. They should have left.
Yeah.
And then you see the guys walk by. You're like, oh, bad guy,
Yeah.
bad guy. Yeah, come on, guys.
They need to be like, they might as well have been wearing badges that said bad guy, look out.
Crew cuts.
Yeah.
Just close shade, like just 5 o'clock shadow, a little bit greasy. I'm like, you guys already look dirty. You look like you've been like on this mission for 10 hours already. But they were just janitors, just lowly janitors, hanging out in the movie room.
Yeah.
That didn't. I don't know why. All right, so they blow up the Capitol building, and
the explosion
is huge.
is way bigger than a janitor cart outfitted. And also that big hub is all like windows and stuff because you can see them blown out. There aren't people right there. So how would the explosion have like traveled so far up and then exploded and destroyed that entire roof?
I don't know how much C4 they had on that cart. If that cart
if
was
they had
packed
that-
full of 100 pounds of C4.
Well, yeah, but if it
gonna
were,
level that building.
if it were, like those people would have experienced more than just like the shaking, and they're like, "Oh, what the heck?"
Oh, did they even show us a shot like from inside? Because the special effects
No.
look kind of crappy. We just saw
yeah.
it blow up from the outside. We didn't see like people dying inside
No.
or getting crushed or
No,
anything.
it's like exactly. So it leads you to believe that like no one was affected by this giant explosion that leveled the Capitol roof.
We were led to believe a lot in this movie. It's like, oh, because the special effects were weak.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
look at. Did you
the
look
budget went to?
at how much was the budget?
Let's look it up. I'm pretty sure it just went to
It didn't. It didn't go.
James Woods.
It didn't go to sound effects because right after this, when this one agent from the White House is like, "Hey, we got to get everybody out of here," he walks into the movie room, and these guys are like, "It's go time," and they go to kill him. Oh man, it must be big. They go to kill him, and he like shoots him, but it sounds like he hits him with a stapler. Like he just like click, 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 click. I'm like, was that a silencer? Because he asks for a silencer a second later. He's like, silencer. And I'm like, oh, okay, what was that? Like he just stapled him. And maybe the guy behind him broke his neck. How much was the budget?
Do you want to guess?
2013, White House. There's a lot of big names in this. I'm going to say $232 million.
Wow. Okay, first of all, you need to
Way
go
too
on
high?
you need to go on the Price is Right with those specific ass numbers.
Ooh.
But
Wow.
bum,
Wow.
boom.
Oh, okay.
It's 150 million.
Wow.
But it grossed worldwide 205.4 million. However,
Grossed.
only 73 million in the US, and then it was 132 million internationally. So the people not in the States really like this, but I probably know why the States didn't like this. They were all like, I'm not paying to see the good, glorious White House blown up. The Canadians are that took care of that in 1817.
I think some people realized.
That's why it's white, because we burned it down and they had to paint over the scorch marks.
That's right. Did you realize what this movie was? It was another version of another movie.
Oh, Olympus Has Fallen, or what the fuck ever.
Okay, it's also another version of another movie from years ago.
Oh, Independence Day.
The original guy stuck in a building.
Die Hard.
Yes, this
Yeah.
movie was Die Hard in the White House.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum even wore a white beater at one point.
Yep.
And like had the same haircut.
Yep,
As
as John
Bruce
McClane.
Willis. I'm like, what?
Yep.
What?
But you know what? You know what's disappointing? You know who didn't direct this movie? The
guy that
director.
directed Die Hard.
Yeah, the guy who directed Die Hard. Rollerball. Predator.
Rollerball. Thomas Crown Affair. Die Hard with a Vengeance. So bad guys are in here. They start killing people. They murder everybody.
Yeah, they just go ham.
It seemed
Right before they send their ransom or give their demands, too. They're just like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah."
they kept a select amount of hostages. Just the lawmakers, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
But every guard got shot, like without even any warning. Like,
Yeah.
some guy on his first day, like, I just work here, just
Yeah.
gets shot 5 times. And then the guy put a bullet through the head of the George Washington painting.
I know. Why?
Because he just, fuck painting.
Yeah.
Just didn't like art, I guess.
Like,
it
it
seemed
makes no sense.
It just made because these Delta these Delta Force guys, the Gravy Seals, they just got, they had the weirdest mix of people.
Yeah, like how did you make it on that team with your actions right now? You don't seem smart.
Well, they bring in that one dude who's just like outback redneck, or just like,
Yeah.
You figure most movies.
Well, that guy loved doing his hate crimes.
Oh,
he was a right-wing nut.
He was a real piece of garbage.
Piece of garbage.
Garbage. I don't know why I said it like that. But most movies, when you get an elite team, it's like a team that like just they work together perfectly. They're unbeatable. But then you get this. It's almost like they brought listen. We need two separate Delta teams.
Yeah.
Give me one that's really good, and the other ones are kind of like, I don't know, guys that are questionable.
Yeah.
They brought those guys in, and you're like, okay, you guys just work together, because it seemed like there was constant friction with all of them,
I know.
which wouldn't.
Nobody played well with others.
No, it's like another added layer of stuff for this 2 hour and 11 minute long movie.
Yeah. So when all the hostages happen, Emily Cale is in the bathroom and she's just washing up, and then the explosion happens, and I'm like, the bathroom isn't a bunker. How are you not freaking out? Like, we see it cuts to her and she's washing her hands, and then she's like,
Well, the explosion was in the Capitol building, though, right? It's different.
That's where they were.
I thought they were in the White House. They're doing
no, it exploded. It exploded the White House. The White House is the circle.
I looked up because I was confused too,
Well,
and I'm
they
like, the Capitol building and the White House are two separate.
No, but they were in the circle building then.
No. What?
Yeah.
Who was?
The John and Emily Cale, they were in the circular building.
When did they go to the White House?
When he rescued the president, they were running away trying to escape and get out because they went in the basement or the bunker.
Oh, well, all right. Well, I don't know. It might be a big building. Who knows?
Yeah.
She could have been on like the other end.
I guess.
It has to be a big building. It doesn't look small by any means. Like it's
True.
maybe in pictures, but
Yeah.
at 38 minutes and 13 seconds in, they actually drop the title of this movie.
White House is down.
Like, ooh, they said the name of the movie.
Roll the
Write it down.
credits.
This movie. Okay. At this point, the emergency siren is going off in the background. I wanted to shut the movie off. I was getting upset.
Yeah.
Well, not upset, but I was getting angry. Because it just kept. Whoop,
I know.
whoop,
We
and
don't need to
paused
hear
it,
that.
I paused it a couple times. I was like, is that outside? Nope, it's on the movie. And then finally, someone at like 45 minutes in is like, shut that goddamn alarm off. I'm like, yes, please do it. I agree with the bad guys.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. We can probably put together an alarm's going off.
So now, at this point where he rescues, so we have learned now that James Woods is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he was behind it all. He shoots all the guards around the president while he's pretending to put him in
They go to PEOC.
What does it stand for? Presidential Emergency
Operations Center.
something.
I don't know.
PEOC.
The bunker in the basement.
Shoots everybody, takes the president, and then he's like, where was he going to take him?
Into PEOC to like lock him in to hold him hostage.
The nuclear codes.
Yeah. And then John Cale shows up with a stolen gun and he's like, Mr. President, come to me.
Yeah, as he's shooting through the stairs over the railing, like, run this way.
Yeah.
Got him, though. It
And
worked.
and the president doesn't experience like friendly fire at all, running directly towards this guy who's shooting a gun.
The movie went from Die Hard, then turned into, well, I could see Die Hard the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was almost like he had his cop buddy from Die Hard with him the whole time. Then it became like a buddy movie, and I was like, man, this, I don't know what I was expecting.
Like
I
the
really
president's
don't.
just BFFs with this random guy who he had an earlier interaction with,
right.
and she was like, my dad's gonna be on your Secret Service, and he's like, really? And then shakes his hand and he's like, don't lie to kids.
Don't lie to your kids.
Also, side note, running back to that interaction, wouldn't you think John Cale would be like, oh, like, haha, no, I was just like applying for an interview to be on your secret. Like, wouldn't you correct it rather than make it seem like you lied to your daughter? Because obviously the president doesn't know like every single time an interview is being conducted for new Secret Service. But if that were me in that situation and the president was like, don't lie to kids, I'd be like, oh, I was actually in an interview.
See, the president has a degree in human psychology, and he could actually read the body language of Channing Tatum, and he could just tell that he didn't lie, but he's like, he didn't change it to make it the truth.
Yeah.
And then he was like, hey, come on, buddy. Stop lying to your kids. That human psychology degree, I tell ya.
Yeah. So then the vice president and a few elected officials, I don't know.
Lawmakers.
They escape on Air Force One. And then the pilot is like, this is going to be the worst takeoff of your life. We're going to go 30,000 feet in 45 seconds. I'm like, is that possible?
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't you need to pick up some speed before takeoff? How can you just go directly
Air Force One is, I'm assuming, souped up. Like that's not your 747. That's true. Oh, they say it's a modified 747 later on when they bomb it.
Yeah.
So that's like, that thing is hopped up. It's like the 20,000 pound SUV that the president drives around with all the extra bells and whistles, and
true.
It can survive a nuclear blast, she said.
Yeah.
Just nuts. Okay, when was the last time you were in an elevator?
A couple weeks ago.
When anytime you've ever been in an elevator, have you seen a hatch?
Yeah, never.
Never. I've never once seen but I always look.
Yeah, same.
Like,
but then again,
how can we get into the top of this elevator?
Like they talk about later, the White House is an old building, so.
But even, I don't know. Even when I was a kid in old buildings, you never saw a way to get to the top of the elevator. It's always like you had to take these 4 screws off first. Yeah. So it just bugs me when they're like, no, come on. And there was like a screen over the middle of the top where you could see the person in the elevator.
But the person can't see you. Yeah. It's a one-way screen.
It's a one-way metal screen. They're just going to see black and a white guy.
Also, this part, it was so unnecessary, but it actually made me laugh so hard when James Woods is eating his retirement cake, and he offers some to Steinbeck or Stypeck or whatever his name is, or Steins or Stens.
The Stens.
Yeah.
That's the speaker, isn't it? Speaker of the House?
No,
the
other bad guy.
Delta Force guy. Yeah.
And he's like, you want some cake? And he's like, no, I don't want any cake. I'm diabetic.
Could you say no, bud? It's cool.
And he's so offended. He's like, I'm diabetic. And James Woods is like,
just assuming that he was supposed to know, I guess?
Yeah. He's like, okay.
In the midst of all this, they're showing news stories, and I got a real kick out of how the news is, they're like, oh, it's Al-Qaeda. Oh, it's a terrorist attack. I'm like, you don't even know what it is, but you're already, and this is like exactly what happens.
So true.
People just like, oh, this is what it is. This is what it is. Like, no, nobody knows what it is yet.
And then, so Emily Cale she's, maneuvering around by herself, evading capture, and she starts recording what's going on, and she hides behind a piano. Hides. And then she looks up and is recording, and then ducks down when he turns to look at her, and then immediately looks back up to see if the coast is clear. Like, no wonder you got caught, dummy. Who when they're hiding looks back up immediately when they think, oh my God, someone just looked over here. I sure as hell don't.
She was putting her whole head above the piano as well. Like, instead of just eyes, she's head, neck included. Like, what are you doing, idiot?
And then she runs and locks herself in a closet, which conveniently has a key in the keyhole already to be locked. And then she starts uploading her video to her YouTube channel and gives herself up and is brought in with the rest of the hostages.
I didn't see them take her phone. They must have.
No, they took it way later when the news footage came out.
That's right.
Which pissed me off because you know that there are hostages in the White House right now, and you get this footage, and obviously you know that it's from someone that's a hostage, but you're gonna go on live air and say, oh, this brave 11-year-old girl, insert photo, named Emily Cale just uploaded this footage online. You would not do that in a hostage situation. That's guaranteeing their head's gonna get blown off.
I didn't even think of that. It's a total movie thing. It's an
Yeah.
absolute movie thing. They're like, we have to release that information. Otherwise, the bad guys will never know.
Exactly. Like that would never happen in real life. And if you did do that and that person's life was in your hands, you're going to be fired. You're a bad reporter.
See, in real life, they would have found out because they would have taken. You would think now in this day and age, you would take the phones of people you're taking hostage.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, hey, buddy, check all those phones, make sure there's no videos or pictures of us.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
They didn't take anybody's phone. Like that should have been a line of dialogue in there. Phones in the bag. Phones in the bag. Everybody give up your phones.
Mm-hmm.
But nope. And I thought of that too. I'm like, why hasn't anybody tried calling? And
I
the
know.
and the bad guys didn't really seem too. They were like in the room, but they weren't being very like.
In your face. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of hostage footage in this movie. I guess now that I think of it, none really. A little bit.
Also, at this point, the president is MIA. Nobody knows if he's dead or alive. And I started laughing out loud because the people on Air Force One were talking about, okay, well, we're going to have to invoke the 25th. And I was laughing because I had no idea what that was.
It's the 25th Amendment.
No, but I had no idea what the 25th Amendment was until in real life 2 weeks ago they were talking about invoking the 25th.
Section 3. Section 3 would be if he's dead or MIA or whatever. Section 4 is the unable to do it because of insanity or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah,
they were going for Section 4.
When I heard them say invoke the 25th, I was like, I know what that is.
It's happened a couple times with past presidents going for surgery. They'll invoke the 25th and be like, here you go. Here's your power. And then like, gets knocked out and comes back and like, hey, you're going to be fine. Cool. I'm president again.
Yeah.
It's neat. And they just pass it off like that. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So Martin gives his demands to, what's what, $400 million,
Yeah, from the Federal Reserves.
which is basically not what he wanted.
Yeah, that was a ploy.
His reasoning for this was dark.
Yeah, just
Very, very dark.
completely random too.
Yeah, we meet Lance Reddick in there somewhere. I love Lance Reddick's voice. Lance Reddick has the best voice. I can't
that-
even. The
the military guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's done like voiceovers in games, a whole bunch of video games and stuff. It just has a great voice.
Yeah.
And cartoons.
He's good.
So they end up calling Jenna on Air Force One to talk about what's going on, and
he's like, I'm with the president.
she has waiting music. Who has waiting music
Yeah.
on their mobile phone? Is that a thing?
I hope not.
If it's not a thing, we should make it a thing.
Yeah.
But when do you ever put people on hold?
Never.
I've put one person on hold in my life, I think. It's weird. So the president kills somebody at this point. Oh, yes. Because they make it into the residence of the White House.
Yeah.
And
To get the satellite phone or whatever.
that's right, the sat phone. And they end up, I don't understand why they're talking so loud
I know.
when there's people with guns in the building.
Yeah.
He's just like, Jenna, you got to help us out. And so these two dudes come in, start shooting them up. They fight. Channing Tatum almost dies, but the president kills the guy. So now the president has blood on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And this is funny because at the beginning of this, the president, what did he say? He was like, I want to make a difference. I want to be remembered for something.
Yeah.
And this is like his chance to shine. I just enjoyed this movie. It was so good.
Now they go to the basement because they want to get out the other exit. But little do they know that hacker set up shop down there and completely C4'd the door.
I totally forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Their hacker.
And like why he was doing it and to erase his record, I guess, but
So she's now sent this video out. They've identified her. They've tracked down the bad guys. They have identified them. And we find out that all three of the main guys are on a threat matrix, which are the three most dangerous people ever. It's like, oh my God, this just gets worse and worse.
yeah.
And president's going to leave. And John's like, nope, got to get my little girl. I'm going back in. The president's like, well, I'm coming with you. And he's like, no, you got to go. You're the president. Go do president stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they find the bomb on the door. And they're starting to get shot up there.
Yeah, because the bad guys follow them down and then they go.
They get the limo. They somehow get to the garage.
Yeah, and then they just happen, like the keys for all these vehicles are just lying around. Why? Like, why are they not locked up? Like, no matter how secure the White House is, I know those guys are paranoid. I guarantee you, even in their lockdown garage, they're going to have all the cars, especially the one to Ground Force One, locked the fuck up.
The Secret Service guy that put the keys away didn't have a degree.
Yeah, and now he did.
Keys are just everywhere.
Yeah.
And he got shot carrying the keys. And he's like, I'm going to put all these keys back in here. Hey!
Yeah.
Just keys everywhere.
So they get the keys to Ground Force One, and it's this big, souped-up Cadillac.
Do they actually call it Ground Force? They must.
Yeah, they did.
It's a weird name.
Yeah. And then they're just Tokyo drifting on the front lawn of the White House.
This was insanity.
I know. They're just looping around trying to get out. And then,
Because he was going to blow the gate, but he's like, no, it's double reinforced steel.
Yeah.
It'll destroy this car.
so then they're like, hey, tank, move ahead and bust a hole in the gate. So the tank goes forward, but then doesn't come back out.
Well, because they're going to shoot. They're like, well, let's just shoot these guys on the roof.
Yeah.
And at this point, yeah, the guys on the roof get rocket launchers. Then
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx gets a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Where everywhere has,
There was a weapon cache.
Frickin',
There was
yeah.
a weapon cache in Ground Force One, he says.
and it's
But
a rocket launcher.
I loved this, though, where he shoots the gate, drops the rocket launcher, comes back in and goes, I dropped the rocket launcher.
You dropped the rocket launcher?
I lost the rocket launcher. You lost? How do you lose a rocket launcher?
The back and forth between Fox and Tatum was really good. Have they been in another movie together?
I
Do
don't
you know?
I don't know.
I didn't look.
I don't
but
think so.
I feel like they should.
Yeah.
Because the chemistry
Well, the
between
sequel
those
to
two.
this.
Wait, there's a sequel?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's a White House Down 2?
I think so.
With both of them?
I think so.
Google that.
Googling.
No, if there isn't, I want one. Man. So after this bad CGI scene, the tank gets blown up and the roof gets blown up, we find out that Martin, a.k.a. James Woods, has a giant golf ball-sized brain tumor, which is why
Yeah.
he's doing this. Because, little backstory on James Woods, his son was on a covert mission in Iraq or Iran or something. I think it's Iran. And the new president comes in, cancels the mission, and basically disavows everybody.
The
so
sequel was canceled. It was
Oh.
supposed to happen.
Wow, a sequel. Well, it made money. They could have done it, but it would have been, come on. Does it get taken over like in the midst of the repairs? Like, oh, there's still
Yeah.
some scaffold up. It's only been 1 year since the White House was attacked.
Yeah. White House down again. It's just a documentary from last week.
We should have got more security. What were we
Yeah.
thinking? We put the whole budget into repairs. So Maggie Gyllenhaal is told, she's like, you're off this because she had one guy
You've
die.
completely bungled this.
If I could do my Lance Reddick, be like, you're off this. I can't do it. Damn it. I was doing it last night. Sound like good on a microphone. But she's like, oh man, I'm off the mission. Damn. And then she's like, wait, I know I have a plan. Goes up to some random agent.
And she's like, hi.
How are you?
I need some information. And he's like,
I'm not supposed to be talking to you.
yeah, I'm not supposed to talk to you.
Oh, well.
Well, everyone's going to die if you don't tell me, and it'll be your fault. So tell me.
And he does.
Yeah.
He does. Like it.
And he does.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is not an unattractive female, but she's not like
She's not
twirl her
hot.
hair. No, she's
not hot.
She's not hot.
She's an attractive, like responsible, like woman, but she's not that bimbo-y distraction. Like, hi.
You can't pull off
She's
the
respectable.
sweet talking agent
Yeah.
into possibly losing his job.
Yeah, like she's a bad bitch. She's gonna get that information herself. She's not gonna be like, please.
Even with Lance Reddick watching her, he's like, "What the hell
Yeah.
is she doing over there?"
I know,
Well, that's
but
more
doesn't
like it.
do anything.
So they call in Delta Team. Another Delta Team. Is a different Delta
A
Team.
good Delta team.
Well, not really, because these guys are insanely flying down the streets of
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. I'm like, okay, why wasn't the information relayed to them? They knew their snipers got taken out, so they know, okay, there's guys on the roof, they have sniper rifles and probably explosives. And they have a javelin, a giant homing rocket. And these guys are just like, oh, you got to go by ground, you can't go by the air. So
by air.
I wrote down hi Delta Team, then bye Delta Team,
Yeah.
because they're in and out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But the javelin gets wrestled away by Channing Tatum from, what was that guy's name? Spence?
Yeah,
Spence.
Stens.
Stens with a Z. Z for our American listeners.
Yeah.
He wrestles away from him on the roof.
And then the news media is like, there's 2 men engaging in hand-to-hand combat.
I must just say, the media coverage in this movie was poor.
Yeah.
Like, just the presentation of it was so cheesy.
I know.
I can't believe there are, like that. 2 men are engaging in hand-to-hand combat on the roof of the White House. Just the way they were saying, I've seen some crappy news presentation in my life. I was watching some clip today, and it was like, that's the classic, like, Diane, I'm standing in front of the fence in front of the building. I used to work in news. People talk like that, too. They just turn it on. They're like, and welcome to the show. Like, ugh.
Welcome to Channel 4.
You had a buddy who would pronounce news?
Like
Channel 6 news.
Like newsies.
News? It's the news. It's news.
News?
News.
Noose?
The news.
The way you pronounce
Watching
that
the
makes me
news.
want a noose.
Watching the news. Hang yourself with a noose. With Channel 6 news.
Noose. With Channel 6's noose.
Marketing for
Yeah.
nooses right there. Channel 6 news. So bye, Delta team.
And then the bad guys, the hacker guy finishes hacking and starts to launch nukes. And he launches one nuke toward Air Force One. And it's downed.
It blew up.
Yeah, after they swore in the vice president as the president. And then
Speaker?
Yes, thank
Speaker
you.
of the House?
I was trying to remember, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say Dale's dad from Step Brothers.
Damn it, Dale!
Dale's dad
Give him some fancy sauce.
gets inducted into being the president.
Sworn in.
Yeah.
He has been sworn into the NHL Hall of Fame. We are inducting our newest president. Sworn in.
Yeah, he gets sworn in. And I'm like, wow, the presidential turnover is really high in this movie. And then he decides that he's going to just say, okay, screw it. The White House is gone. We're never getting it back. And sends out 3 jets to
Nuke it.
And fun fact, Brandon, in his free time, plays so much Flight Simulator, specifically to fly jets. He is a jet man. He loves jets. So he was watching this with me, and he was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I was like, what?
You can't bank at that altitude.
And I wrote this, not just that, I wrote this down. And I quote, the Raptor... It's impossible for the Raptor 1 to attack any ground target and carry bombs. They only attack other aircrafts. Also, you wouldn't see still a direct quote. You wouldn't see a fucking little girl waving a flag like it's her talent show and stop the mission.
Simply the best.
But yeah, he was so annoyed. He was like, Raptors can't do that. They don't carry bombs.
That's awesome.
They just have guns where they fight each other in dog fights. They don't attack ground targets. And I was like, okay, nerd.
See, you would think a movie like this that puts so much pressure on the military aspect of it, they would
get it right.
They would check that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can these things do that? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Put it in the movie.
Like,
we're gonna make
Jesus,
millions.
don't send out a Raptor. Send out a Tomcat. Send up a freaking F-14 like in Top Gun. At least you goddamn know.
See, I had no idea. Because the average viewer is like, huh? It's an airplane?
Jets.
That's hilarious. That's always interesting when you're watching anything with anyone. They're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And they're like a specialist on that thing. And they tell you that. And you're like, whoa.
I'm like,
I love learning things like that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, he's going to bomb. So he's going to bomb the White House. It's his first order as president.
Yeah, bomb the White House.
And then at this point now, they're like, we got to get out of here. So they get Jamie Foxx back. Oh, wait, hold on. No, now the bad guys have Jamie Foxx. They got the president. They got Channing Tatum's daughter. And Channing Tatum has 8 minutes.
Yeah. Before.
John, you've only got 8 minutes to get out of there.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Oh, here we go. So basically 8 minutes in real time.
Yeah.
Maybe more like 12. I think it was stretched a little bit.
And then Jamie Foxx and James Woods are fighting, and then James Woods shoots Jamie Foxx in front of
The tour
Emily.
guide? Oh, Emily. That's right. The tour guide's around there somewhere.
Yeah. And they're in like the Oval Office or some shit. And all of a sudden he's punching in the new nuke codes because every single president gets different nuke codes for obvious reasons.
I don't know if they keep them on their person, though.
Maybe? I don't know.
Right now, I hope not.
Yeah.
I did make a prediction 2 months ago that Trump would try to bomb something.
Just as
he's
his
done.
final. Yeah.
Yes, and be like, and I'm out.
Yeah. Goodbye, bitches. If I can't have America, no one can.
Pretty much.
So then he's in the Oval Office or whatever, setting up all the nukes to fire off all at once.
On the Middle East.
Yeah.
Woods
it's always
just
the
wanted,
Middle East.
Woods just wanted to bomb the Middle East.
Yeah.
That was what he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Did not want peace in the Middle East.
Yeah. Like, shut up.
Just wanted people in pieces in the Middle East.
Yeah. He's setting it up, and then the robot lady's like,
You have 15 seconds to press this button, and then it'll activate all the nukes.
and then in a blaze of glory, Channing Tatum busts through the
Oh, yeah.
freaking window in another pimped out SUV and completely mows James Woods down. And he doesn't die somehow. And the slowest finger reach for the button ever. And she's like, Dad! And he's like, and then how does he kill him? He shoots him or something? Because he doesn't press the button.
No. Wait. Who does he give the old grenade necklace to?
Oh,
That's Stents, right?
Yes,
Stent,
he grenade necklaces Stents before killing James Woods. E.T.
And then, I got President's been shot, and then the old grenade necklace, and then Emily waves off the airstrike.
Yes, and then they're all celebrating.
The tour guide jumps in there and hits somebody.
Yeah, he hits that redneck guy because he keeps
he
breaking
beats
those,
him with this.
and he's like, "Stop damaging my White House!"
The heroic tour guide.
Yeah,
I loved him. By the end, I was like, this guy's a great character.
yeah. And then John Cale goes to get the president, and then he's calling what's her nuts, Gyllenhaal.
Jana? No, wait, no. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Gyllenhaal. And he's like, President's dead. I stopped Martin. And he's like, I want to see something. So then Emily and John and everyone are on the lawn celebrating. And then the new former speaker, now president, comes up. And John confronts him and is like, so all the nuke codes were changed, and Martin was obviously got the new nuke codes, and he's the only person who uses a pager. The only other person I know who uses a pager is you. And then he's like, old people use old technology, so what? And then they deduce that
Just call the number on this pager.
Yeah. The new president was secretly a bad guy because he wanted to everyone wants to start shit with the Middle East.
He just wanted to bond it because, like, the whole movie you're thinking he wants to avenge his son's death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His unlawful death because of the president.
Yeah.
But he's like, nope, I just want to bomb the Middle East.
Yeah. Like,
what? Okay.
leave it alone. Stop beating a dead horse.
And that was it.
Yeah.
At the end.
And then
The other countries are going to sign the peace accord.
Yep. And then the president hires John as his Secret Service.
I need my personal
protection.
I ain't going anywhere without my bodyguard. Well, yeah, that was
White House Down.
It was fun. It was fun. Okay, I gave it 6 heroic tour guides out of 10 George Washington painting headshots. It was surprisingly good. The acting was pretty good. The storyline was kind of weak and flimsy.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of focus. Like, it just seemed like it was kind of like they threw a bunch of stuff everywhere rather than focusing on certain aspects of the story.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like it was just spread too thin. But all in all, it was exciting. It was fun to watch. I checked the time a bunch, but still, like, I wasn't like, I hate this movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't like watching Survive the Night or Dragged Across Concrete. That movie was terrible.
Yeah. I
Would you rate
gave this 5 sassy White House tour guides out of 10 missile strike flag performances.
Ooh.
Because for the same reasons you said, it was a fun watch. I too check the time a lot, but the rapport between Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum was really good. It was like go, 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 go the whole time, except for the first half an hour. It was just constant action, and you were like, okay, this is making the 2 hours and 11 minutes going by quicker. But yeah, the sound effects weren't good. The plot was very overfull with things and convoluted ideas that they didn't follow. But overall, it was enjoyable.
It deserved a 6.
Yeah.
It's 6 and a 5. That was White House Down, everybody.
White House Down.
All right, everybody. Like, subscribe, share it.
Comment.
Send us an email with a movie idea you want us to review.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Real garbage.